Hello everyone, Gilbert here. Welcome to Red Dragon Model Works. I hope you guys will all forgive me. I've been battling this plague, this flu for the last 3 weeks, and over the last week or so it got really bad. I mean, it laid me low. So forgive the way I'm speaking at the moment. I probably look like death warmed over. I hope your holiday, your Christmas was a great one. I hope it was joyous. I hope Santa, the spruce Santa, brought you a lot of models out there. I wished you all a happy one, and I hope it was joyous for each and every one of you. Today I want to bring you a review of an airbrush that my friend Arlo Halffast, some of you know him as, right here, Halffast. My brother Arlo RN, as we know him on Facebook. That's his card there. He and I have been conversing back and forth on Facebook through the messenger. And he asked me how come I didn't like Grex airbrushes. Now, I didn't go into super detail with him, but I did tell him that I owned one at one time and I didn't like it and I got rid of it. So he offered to send his to me to review it. And I took him up on that offer. At first, I was kind of hesitant because I don't like taking other people's, having people send me their things through the mail and then me having to send it back, because things happen. You know, things get lost in the mail, and before you know it, I'm making little children cry when I don't produce whatever. Long story. But he sent me the airbrush, and I sat on it for a couple of days because I've been sick and the holidays. So today I sat down and I did a review on it. Now, it's not a super duper in-depth tear it apart review, but it's a spray characteristic review, a quick review. And I wanted to put it up against another airbrush. Now, I was going to use another trigger airbrush, handled airbrush, which is the Iwata Hp-TH with the top cut. But I wanted to use, and it's got a 0.5 needle in it, but I wanted to use a side feed, because this is what Arlo sent me, was a side-fed Grex, the TF-5, the TF-5 side-fed airbrush from their Tritium series. So I decided to swap out the 0.3 needle from my HP-SBS and put a 5 needle in there. So they're both side-fed airbrushes. This is the Iwata, this is the Grex. So I sat down and I did a review on them. And if you bear with me a minute here, brothers and sisters, I'll show you exactly how that went. Be back in a second. So, as I mentioned, this is the Iwata HP-SBS. Damn good airbrush. This one here is the Grex TF-5 from the Tritium series. The side feed. It also comes with the top feed here, but this is the side feed. Again, I'd like to thank Arlo Halffast for allowing me to use his airbrush here for this demonstration. Again, forgive me. I'm getting over a really bad flu, so if I sound a little muffled, that's probably what it is. All right, so for this, I have a couple of different paint meals. I've got a piece of a car, body, a chassis, and the front hood of it. We probably won't use both, but we'll see. First, I'm going to say, like with the Iwata, this is one of my favorite airbrushes. I'm using this one more and more. I traded Maker Mike for a Revolution for this airbrush. It comes with the 0.3 and it comes with a 0.5. To keep it fair, both of these have a 0.5 needle in them. They both have 0.5 needles in them. So I'm going to shoot with the Iwata first. For this, I'm going to use just some regular opaque Createx paint. It's acrylic. And I'm going to thin it with some of my thinner. That's a homemade mix. If you guys want to figure out how to do it, I use that as a cleaner also. You can look on the archives, you'll find that. As a matter of fact, I'll probably leave a link to it somewhere around up there. So let's get started. I'm going to turn the exhaust fan on. Let me get this out of the way a little bit so I don't get these boxes full of overspray. So let's mix up some paint. I'm going to do it all here so you guys see that I'm going to use the same paint for both. Do that. Don't ask me what my ratio is because I have no damn idea. I just go by feel, guys. That's kind of thin. Not thin enough. Add a little bit more. I want it thin. Almost there. It's a nice thick paint. Still too thick. A little bit more. That should do it. Yeah, that's good. All right, now here we go. Let me get a glove on right here. So, I've mentioned over. Oh, this also comes with a fan tip, but I'm not going to use the fan tip on this. I'm just going to shoot straight right out there. So, like I said, we're going to start with the Iwata Hp-SBS. Again, this has become my go-to airbrush. I really like it, but I use it with a 0.3 needle in it. So here, let me set it up. I've got my pressure set at about 25 psi. Get a little paint in here. Not a lot. Just to get this going. I'll turn, this is the favorite part of this. I could turn this, and there's my spraying, as you can see. So I'm going to use this. Let's see. Let's go with just some nice fine. As you can see, the paint's laying down really nice. You get a nice balance to it. Nice spray pattern. Let me move in just a little bit more. You see that? Now this is the Hp-SBS, the Iwata. No problem there. I'm going to hold it back just about right there and just flood it. Wide open. There you go. And then a little bit of line, you know. So it's not bad. Again, I expect this to shoot like that because it's the Iwata. You get some nice lines with it. Let me see. Let me see if I can get that so you guys can see it. I know this is not the best thing to use it on, but you get some nice lines with that so you can see. Oh, right there. I mean, I can get real fine. See that? Now again, this is a 0.5 needle. And you see how fine a line you can get with them? If you know what you're doing with an airbrush, doesn't matter if it's a 5. I hear people say you can't do that with a 5. Well, I'm showing you right now you can. You see that? For me, the air pressure is set too high. And there's some dots. So there's your Iwata. got some nice spray characteristics, beautiful in the hand, but that's what you expect out of an Iwata. Cleanup is also what you expect. Again, I'm going to use my cleaner. Drop that in there. Do a little this in there. Do a little that. Now, side feeds are a little different, guys, when you clean them, because you got to take a little bit more care. Being a side fed airbrush, it comes in through here, up in there, so you got to make sure you clean these out really good. Get a clean brush in there. Do that, and then I'm going to do the dreaded, what certain people tell you not to do. Oh my God, he's back flushing. Hell yeah, I'm back flushing. Now, but I'm going to go ahead and blow all that out. That's my cleaner. Clean as a whistle. I'm going to, because it's a side feed, shoot that right out. Let it go up into the extractor. Pull that needle. I always pull the needle. Do that. Clean that needle off. Bada bing, bada boom. So, it's a damn good airbrush. Anybody that has one knows what I'm talking about. Iwata, well, what can you say? It's an Iwata. It's not a Neo. It's an Iwata. But now, Arlo told me that this bad boy is the greatest airbrush that's ever been around. So we're going to put this little boy to a few paces. Now, first, I'm going to shoot some to show you that it's all set up. You see the spray coming out, wide open, beautiful, right away. Get that rolling through there. Make sure I don't have anything in that cup. I like the size of those cups, man. Look at that. Look at the big size of that thing. Now, I've mentioned many times before when I'm asked how come I don't like Grex's. It's not that I don't. Well, I had one. I didn't like the way it fit in my hand. See, that's what I don't like about this thing. Right away. What the heck was that? Okay. I just dropped the nozzle. It's held on there by magnets, and I'm not too shoot. I don't really like that magnet. It's too easy to lose it. As you can just see, it fell, and it's going to take me forever to find it because it went bouncing somewhere, and I don't know where it went to. Now, give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Now, I could have edited this out, but I didn't do it because I wanted to show you guys something. This was one of my, excuse me again. I'm short of breath here because fighting this cold. This was one of the reasons why I did not like the Grex. It reminded me of it when I dropped this. That seems like a good idea, the magnetic, but it's not held on there good. See that? You can just bump this and this falls off. So strike one. Is it a deal breaker? No. But I spent 25 minutes looking for this just now. And see, if it was my airbrush, I would have said to hell with it. Found it whenever I could. But seeing that I have to send this back to Arlo, I needed to find that piece. So anyway, let's get back to the review. Now, it's a nicely made airbrush, as you can see. I have large hands. So this in my hands feels like, it's very small. Now, you can use it this way, so you can aim it. You can do it this way. I with a trigger airbrush, I do it both ways, like this, and a side feed, like this, or like this. This way, I move it a little better. So you'll see me spraying like this. There's a large cup. Um, I like the make of it. I never did have a problem with the way it was made. Mine leaked in here. And I would send it back. It came back and it kept leaking. Now, there were seals and everything was changed. I just could never get it to stop leaking here. I see that they fixed it. Again, I had mine was about, I don't know, 3 years ago. Close to a little over 3 years ago. We Baltazar and I, the basement modeler and I, they used to have a trade show here called the iHobby. It's moved to New Jersey now, and that's when I first saw this one. The one I had was this one here with the top feed. Come with interchangeable cups, etc., etc. I wasn't too happy with it at the time. As you can see here, it comes with a 3, 5, and a 7 millimeter nozzle. The same thing with the nozzle caps. And then you got the spray patterned caps. It gives you an installation instruction, which is pretty decent. Iwata doesn't do that. But it tells you, how to install everything. How to pull your needle, how to unscrew your nozzle, how to adjust a screw in the fan tip, the fan cap, etc., etc. Right here it shows you how to adjust your spray patterns with your fan cap. As you can see here, side, there it is there. If you move it around, you see there's holes in there, and as you turn this, it'll give you your different spray patterns. As you can notice there. So once you align them, it'll give you the spray pattern you're looking for. And I think they got this wrong. This should be over here, and this should be over here. Because if you're spraying vertical or horizontal like this here, you'll get I don't know. We'll see. This is telling you one way. This is showing you another. Anyway. So, again, this is the tritium. They give you your little owner's manual. Again, it goes over what you just saw here in this quick guide. Shows you your spray pattern with your standard nozzle, etc., etc. Okay. So, let's do some shooting with it. So we're going to put a little bit of paint in there. Again, this has a 0.5 needle in there, the same as the Iwata did. And right out the bat, I like it. It's got also back here you can adjust the needle tension. I like the. Let me see how this needle tension works in the back here. See if I can close that all the way up. Look at that. It's closed all the way. See, again, here's that stupid little. Let me take that off. It's more of a hindrance to me than anything else. It's not a deal breaker. It's just more of a hindrance. All right. Can we get a nice fine line with this 0.5 in there? Well, let's see. Yes, you can. You see that? Nice, fine, tight line in there. It feels like it's skipping, but yeah, I'm getting a skip. As you can see in the paint spat, it's not as fluid. Let me open that up a little bit. It could be just the air, the way the air is coming out. I want to give this a fair shot, guys. So it could be the way I have this set, also. So let me open that up a little bit more here. Let's try that again. Yeah, see now I've got it open. Now let me open it all the way. I'm gonna open it all the way. All right. There's your fine line. I'm getting some skipping, and you know what? As you can see there, you can see how it's skipping. Take this cap off. Needle's clean. I'll show you. There's no gunk buildup on that needle. There you get a nice pattern there. and I'm getting like a skipping when I'm trying to get a fine line. And you can notice it if you look closely. You see those dots? That's the skipping from the air. So anyway, it's got a 0.5 needle in there. This for me was the deal breaker, you know, that it didn't have a consistent airflow when you're going slowly. Now, again, it's got a 0.5 needle in there, guys. You're not going to be doing that kind of work with a 0.5 needle in there. Let's give it a, like down here. You saw what I did here. Let's do this here now. Let's give it a, the spraying is good. Sprays nicely. I got a good consistent paint flow with it. It's not a bad airbrush. This thing here has been sitting in my garage, this paint mule, and it's dirty, it's dusty, and it's probably got oil on there. See that, guys? I want to show you that for those of you out there that get something like that. If you were painting this for real, I would have washed this. You see that? That's because it's got some ugh on the on the body. So anyway, I don't care about that right now. I just want to see how this thing shoots. I don't know. I have to be honest with you guys. Not a bad airbrush. Shoots well. But for me, it's not as smooth. Now let me try here. Look, I'm gonna go here. This is the Grex. That was the Grex. Let me move the Grex off to the side here. That's the Grex. This is the Iwata. Both have a 0.5 needle in there. Now, you see that? That skipping that was there? Right there? I'm going to show you the difference. See that? Smooth. Look at that. I'll even come across you guys to see. No dancing in that needle. None. Same distance. Same spraying. It's a finer airbrush. I'll be back in a second, guys. All right. So you want my opinion? Well, I was going to put this the Grex the TR5. I was going to put it up TF5. I was going to put it up against the Iwata HPTH, but the Iwata HPTH isn't a side feed airbrush. I wanted to use a side fed airbrush, both with a 0.5 needle, and that's what this is. The SBS is a side. The HP-SBS is a side feed airbrush. So I wanted to use them both. Now, of course, this is a trigger. This is a top trigger. You know, traditional trigger, top trigger. Both are double action. Um, both are fine airbrushes. Let me get off the bat right out. If you're looking for a good handheld airbrush, the Grex is probably something I would look into. Um, would I buy one? No. There's I like the way it feels in my hand, but it's nice and light. What I mean by that, it's nice and light. The handle for me is too small. I got big hands, so it's too small. It's smooth, but for me, the skipping is what and that's the problem I had with it originally, was that the airflow, when I would go real low, the airflow, the skipping is what I didn't like about it. That and the leakage, but the skipping is what I don't like. Now, it could be because that's a .5 needle in there. I don't recall if I changed the needle out when I owned one. I know I don't use a .5 that much, but when I do, um, it's either the Posh or one of my Iwatas, the Evolution with a .5 needle in it. But I'm so used to that smooth transition that I get with an Iwata that when as soon as I hit that trigger and I see that skipping, it concerns me, and not so much because I'm going to do fine detail with a .5, but because if it's skipping, that's telling me that you're not getting a consistent airflow. Now again, it could be the needle. I've got my compressor set at 25, and I went high for a reason. I don't usually go that high when I'm shooting from a side feed, but I wanted to get a good consistent airflow out of them. If someone were to ask me if they were to get one of these at a decent price, I tell them to grab one. It's not a bad airbrush. It's a good airbrush. I don't think it's worth what they're asking for it, because you can get an Iwata for that price. That is finely tuned, perfect. Um, or Hobby, Mr. Hobby, I believe, has one. Or there's a couple other ones that you can get. $150, you can get a really beautiful uh, handheld airbrush. I think for those that use one and use them well, I hats off to you. I mean, I see no. I wouldn't discourage people from buying one, but I wouldn't buy one. Using it over the last couple of days and then doing what I just did here reinforced the reason why I don't like them. I don't like the skipping. Um, those are the cons. I don't like the skipping. I don't like the handle. I despise that magnetic thing on there, because you can lose those easy. I mean, you saw I dropped one. It took me 20 minutes to find it. Those are the cons. The pros of it is they're very easy to clean. Very easy to clean. You pull the needle, wipe it, take that cup off if you're doing a side feed. And there's the openings are big enough where you can get in there with a Q-tip and clean everything out. That's a good thing about it. It seems to be built pretty strong. It's not a bad it's not a bad airbrush. I just have issues with it. I have issues with the way it sprays. Is it an Iwata? Hell no. This thing here is like a finely tuned Ferrari. If you've got a good needle in there and your seals are good and you've maintained your airbrush well, these things are beautiful. I mean, just flawless. Um, I can't say the same for the Grex. Again, I've only used it for a couple of days. Sorry about that. I've only used it for a few days, and in the time I've used it, it's there's a few issues that have come up with it that I don't like. For me, you make up your own mind of it. I just wanted to give you the options out there. You either pick up this one, the SBS. It doesn't have a handle on it. It's a damn fine airbrush. Or you can pick up the Grex. If you want a handle, grab the Grex. I think it'll be fine for what you guys do. For what I do, the fine work that I do, this is not going to help me. Automotive, terrain, things like that there, yeah, I think so. I'm kind of leery about it laying down a consistent paint because, well, yeah, it's nice and smooth. Looking at what I've shot with it, and laid down a nice smooth paint job. It's nice and smooth. I mean, I don't know if you can see that. I know the light's bad in here, guys, but laid down really nice. For that again, I use this Createx. I thinned it with my thinner cleaner. Um, so yeah, my judgment, I'd give it out of stars, 1 out of 5. I'd give it a 3. So there it is, guys. I'd like to thank Arlo Halffast. Thank you, brother. I'll box this back up, put it back in the mail for you, man. I appreciate you sending this to me so I can review it, and I hope this helped you guys out a little bit. I know it's not a super in depth, but it was a quickie, man. Well, not a quickie, but you know what I mean. You guys have a great evening. It's Red Dragon saying peace. Be good to your families. Love your children. Leave the drama to the Queen's brothers and sisters and build a goddamn model. Ciao.